Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to continue our story here. We are on day 5, and on the previous video I specifically didn't look at the newspaper so we can get a jump start on it here.
Times dated June 22nd, 1993. Disgusted with the state of the voodoo murder case, Gabriel turns right to his horoscope. The shadow upon you is no longer reversible.
Wonderful.
Okay. Dixieland Jazz. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. Okay, but now it is June 22nd, which is my birthday. Yay. Okay. Let's see. I know that there were things that open up, but let's talk to Grace first. She should have some research.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Messages.
Do you have messages for me?
I've given everything to you.
Really? Alright.
How do you feel about Nolans these days?
I'd rather be anywhere else in the world right now.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure, what?
Could you research Rada drums for me?
Rada drums? Sure. I don't think we have any books on that topic in the shop, but I'll contact our suppliers. Assuming any of them will extend you any credit.
Tell them it's an emergency.
Uh-huh. I can see where a Rada drum book would be incredibly urgent. Anything else?
Nothing else.
I can't think of anything.
Alright. So yeah, the drums, we're gonna need to research what the heck's going on there. Okay, we know that we've got the professor to go to, because he's done whatever he's done. We know that this is now open, but I don't know if I want to go there just yet, so let's head to this guy.
Hey, Hartridge, what's the good word? Hartridge? Ah!
Oh.
Oh God, not again.
This isn't good.
He's looked better.
Whatever Hartridge may have learned, he can't share it with Gabriel now. At least not vocally. That would be up to the coroner.
Fair enough.
There must be something here about what Hartridge found out about that Veve.
I was kind of thinking the
This
book.
is a crime scene. A wastebasket next to the desk.
Okay, can we grab some stuff out
There's
of the
nothing of interest in the wastebasket.
basket? Let's see. What do you think?
This is a crime scene.
There must be something here about what Hartridge found out about that Veve.
Okay, so ripped page right here.
Damn, this is his notepad. But the top sheet's been taken.
Okay, we could pick up the pencil. And grab the indentation.
Hartridge's notes. This must be about the Veve.
Yeah, we're just gonna take that.
This is a...
I don't think there's anything else.
Nothing else looks related to my case.
Yeah, so this poor bastard, he got into something he shouldn't have. I thought you could use that and that, but no. Are we having fun yet? All right, let's just be done with that.
The iridescent...
All right. So do we like report that or something? It feels kind of wrong.
The podium. Hot...
Alright, let's get out of here.
Before leaving the university, Gabriel notifies campus security about Hartridge's body.
Okay, good. I was kind of wondering about that. What do I have to work with here? I'm not... Can I just look at this?
The newspaper clipping describes a ritualistic murder in Congo Square. It includes a rough sketch of a pattern found around the body. The sketch is very similar to the reconstructed Veve.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is what we needed to learn about here. I think we can prove this to the police. Can I... Where am I going? I kind of lost my brain there for a second. I think I've got enough here.
Detective Mosley. Hard at work, I see.
Yeah. What is it, you wanker?
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same M.O. 1810.
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? Or that they are a threat?
Sure, if there is a voodoo cult, they're a threat.
That was the weirdest move Gabriel has ever made on that desk right there. Okay. What else can I use? I don't think I want to give him these.
I have this.
Oh, maybe I do.
Take a look at these notes. They're from Professor Hartridge at Tulane University.
Yeah? What about them?
They confirm that the pattern for the murders is of African origin.
This is interesting if it's true. But how do you know he had the right pattern?
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Pontchartrain. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So this is the whole pattern, huh? That's pretty good work, Knight. So that's what Hartridge used, huh? I guess his analysis is on target then.
Okay.
Okay. The murders were committed by a legitimate voodoo cult. You proved your point.
Hooray! I done proved my point. Okay, so...
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask
we
away.
need to kind of inform him about...
Crash is dead.
What? What are you talking about? I let him go yesterday.
Yeah, and I watched him die yesterday at St. Louis Cathedral.
At the cathedral? I guess he was trying to get a last-minute A-train ticket, huh? Poor bastard.
I think you should go find the body at the morgue. He was killed by the voodoo cult. Crash said...
Crash said? What, he mentioned pink elephants too?
Aren't you going to investigate?
Civilians. Did you actually see someone kill him?
No, actually I was with him when he died. Could have been poison, though.
Yeah, well, when they get the body in, they'll do a quick autopsy, standard procedure. If it's anything other than an overdose, I'll get a report.
Okay.
There's been another murder. A professor at Tulane.
Oh, Christ. You're not gonna start this again.
Just listen. This guy's name is Hartridge. He was a professor in African Studies at Tulane. Well, yesterday I went to see him about the voodoo murders case. He agreed to do some research for me. He calls me up this morning, tells me he's on to something big, and when I get over there, the guy's dead.
You know, you're really getting your ass in a sling over this thing, Knight.
It's not about me. Look, Hartridge's death looked just like Crash's. I'm telling you, they were both murdered, and by the same people who did the voodoo murders.
Did either Crash or this new guy have their hearts ripped out?
No.
Then there's nothing to link either to the voodoo murders M.O. Besides that, the case is closed, Knight. If the coroner's report asks for a homicide investigation on either of these guys, fine. But it's not gonna be related to the Voodoo murders case unless we find damn good reason to do so.
But I'm the link to the Voodoo murders case. Don't you see?
Look, if I were you, I wouldn't repeat that to anyone. Because if I weren't an old friend of yours, I might take you seriously and lock you up.
Good point.
As it is, maybe you should start keeping your mouth shut and not involve other people with this shit if you think it's so dangerous.
Also a good point.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to get me a lead on the cult.
Do I have anything that's a lead on the cult at this point? No, but we can go here.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait! Gabriel Knight.
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
Well, first off, interesting snake.
A large, sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magenta is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner. Magenta's snake looks a little sickly, but Gabriel would still rather not stick his hand in the cage.
And I would agree with that. Alright, let's just talk to her.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve. It is the greatest night of the voodoo year. There is always a traditional conclave on St. John's Eve. Most of our voodoo churches these days hold functions in the church hall. But in the old days, they had ceremonies out in the wild. They wore animal masks and had a huge bonfire and dancing. I used to go when I was an apprentice. Sometimes in the swamp, you know, Bayou St. John. Sometimes at the lake, Lake Pontchartrain.
What can you tell me about
She
voodoo?
seems like it
My
might be worth
practice is
getting this
mainly selling
information.
charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spells and charms are powerful, and they work.
Oh, really?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Much of a voodooienne's work is protecting her clients from the spells of others. I make special protective gree-gree to be worn in secret. They keep evil spells from working against my clients.
I see.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
The recipes for voodoo charms have been handed down from master to apprentice for centuries.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
So you don't think the voodoo aspects of the case are fake?
Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No. That is part of a voodooienne's power. If people don't believe, there's not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur. Things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
That just confused me.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? You mean like my beloved Grimwald? She's a python, you know. Quite deadly in the wrong hands. I was trained by one of the great voodoo queens to learn how to hypnotize and handle snakes.
Uh-huh.
Tell me more about snakes.
Oh, I wouldn't want to give away my trade secrets.
No, you're useless.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
I have told you all it is proper for you to know, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end of those.
What do you mean? Do you know something about the case?
I work hard on fine-tuning my spiritual antennae, Monsieur Knight, and I get a clear signal from that direction. Beware.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
Nolans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
Okay, we knew that already.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
What can you tell me about Nolans?
It is my favorite place in the world.
Well, isn't that lovely?
Do you
can
have
learn
any
a lot from
idea
her, I
what
guess, even though she's a
Cabrice
little
Call means?
Weird.
No, I don't.
I bet she does.
Do you know anything about Veves?
I don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Tell me about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They're too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
Uh-huh.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndful?
There are many voodoo churches in Nolans, no?
Yes, but have you heard of a secret voodoo houndful?
Wherever did you hear such a ridiculous story? There is no such thing.
Uh-huh.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
It is the oldest, darkest heart of voodoo.
As opposed to white voodoo, that's racist.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
There are some things it's better not to know about, Monsieur Knight.
Does Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that.
She's useless.
Have you ever heard of Dambala?
I don't know anything about that.
How could she be some voodoo expert and know nothing?
Have you ever heard the word Schattenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Tell me about
I
yourself.
really don't care about her.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How many voodooians are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course, the level and the power of the voodooians differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
So much garbage.
How did you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame. I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I don't
Very
really want to hear
well.
any more from her.
Give me an example of Gris-Gris.
All right, here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match. A spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
Alright, that was pointless.
About Grimwald.
What about her?
Tell me more.
Would you consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
No, I couldn't do that. You might do some gree-gree of your own, no? One must be very careful with such things. Hair clippings, nail parings, and snake scales.
Are you sure you wouldn't consider giving me one of Grimwald's scales?
I told you, I couldn't do that.
How about showing me how you handle Grimwald?
Really? You would like to see me dance, perhaps?
Sure, why not?
That would be swell.
No matter what you see, do not be frightened.
I'll give it my best shot.
I can think of so many ways that could go terribly wrong, by the way. Snake doesn't look happy. Okay, her face bugs me.
Gabriel grabs the shed snake skin while Magenta is otherwise occupied. She's a bit busy at...
Okay, good. She's done.
There. Truly inspiring, isn't it?
That's certainly one word for it.
Okay, a couple of things I want to do. One, I want to...
Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from a gentle moonbeam snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scales from Lake Pontchartrain.
Well, now we know the rest of the story. Alright, so I wanted to show her this.
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
Ah, the voodoo code. It is very secret, yes. I studied it with my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
I'm afraid I could never translate this code for an outsider such as yourself, Monsieur Knight.
Can we try again?
Are you sure you can't translate this for me?
As I said, it's a very secret code.
Surely you can see I'm trying to learn as much as I can here. How am I supposed to become an insider if you won't help me?
That's true, I suppose. Perhaps if the Loa were to grant you their approval.
How do I get that?
By using my Ask the Loa machine.
A machine?
Yes. A spirit guided me to it years ago in an antique store. And its guidance has never faltered. I trust it implicitly.
I see.
The spirits often work in mysterious ways, Mr. Knight. If you aren't willing to ask...
No, I'll ask. Let's see here.
Oh, God. Say God. Okay. Trusted friend. That's what it said. So the question is, how do you... Uh-huh. I see. Okay, well, this looks like it could be fun. Well, guys, in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and call it here, and we'll be back on the next video where we figure out this puzzle and what exactly it takes to get through it. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.